So I'm going to argue that the current policy that Obama has enforced is actually better than Bush's. Bush's policy, his interrogation tactics, not only were just sleep deprivation or waterboarding, there were many methods of ill treatment that were used during Bush's time as president. They all included suffocation by water, which is waterboarding, prolonged stress by standing, beating by uses of a collar type device, beating, kicking, box confinement, prolonged nudity, sleep deprivation, exposure to cold temperatures, prolonged shackling, threats of ill treatment on family members and themselves, forced shaving, deprivation, and restriction provision of solid foods. And there is actually false info that can be provided during extreme interrogation. It doesn't always provide the truth. She mentioned that Khalid Sheikh Mohammed, I don't know if I'm saying that right, that he actually, during interrogation, he gave information that prevented some terrorist attacks, but in a report that he made himself during his detention in Afghanistan, he was held for 3 days in March 2003, and during that detention, he endured a lot of hardship during the interrogations, and he admitted to giving false info in order to satisfy what he believed the interrogators wished to hear in order to make the treatment stop. And he actually told the interrogators that their methods were stupid because he was giving them false info. It was counterproductive to what they wanted. And he was sure that his false info, it wasted a lot of their time and led to a lot of false red alerts that the US had placed. And another, and according to Science Daily, a study was shown that interrogation actually has negative effects on the brain. Science Daily did a neuroscientific research on the Bush administration and the terrorist suspects that were treated, and they found that interrogation techniques had unintended negative effects on the suspect's memory and brain functions. Another article in the Trends in Cognitive Science journal reviewed that scientific evidence demonstrating that repeated and extreme stress and anxiety have a detrimental influence on brain functions related to memory. So during extreme stress and anxiety, the captive will most likely speak in false pretenses to stop the torture. So it's really difficult to determine whether what they're admitting is true or false because they just want the torture to stop instead of actually telling the truth. So the current policies in place are actually better than the enhanced interrogation that Bush had. So, according to Obama's interrogation standards, the rapport techniques permits 19 interrogation techniques, and a few of them are direct approach, incentives, connecting to their emotional love, emotional hate, their fears, their prides, and also rapid fire tactics, silent treatments, change of sceneries, and separations. And And the report techniques now actually have better results than the interrogation standards of the Bush administration. An FBI agent, Jack Clunan, stated that in his 27-year career as a special agent and his interviews with hundreds of subjects, including members of Al-Qaeda, that the coercive interrogation techniques is not effective. The alternative report approach is more effective and reliable. Many scientists, psychiatrists, and psychologists all agree that, have all come to the same conclusion that this has become more reliable because the old interrogation techniques can impair subjects' ability to accurately recall information and produce false info. Also, enhanced interrogation techniques have proven that they are not necessary. Elise Soufan mentioned in an article in the New York Times that in 2002, there was harsh interrogation techniques on the terrorist Abu Zubaydah on the grounds that and Abu Zab had actually stated that he gave the information that the interrogators had wanted before they started the waterboarding and harsh treatment. So it was not necessary to use those interrogation tactics to get the info that they needed.